Created a problem to keep my annoying neighbor occupied and get some peace. Back in the early 90s, my husband and I bought this house on a corner lot that had just been split into 2 pieces. The back part of the lot was supposed to be a second driveway connecting to the side road, but the previous owner messed up and accidentally sold it to us instead. Our neighbor, this grumpy old guy named Harold, was absolutely convinced that back parcel was still his property. He'd stand out there right in front of our bedroom windows just staring at our house like he was guarding his territory or something. Every single morning I'd wake up and there he'd be, just standing there with his arms crossed. I tried talking to him about it. Harold, I have the deed right here. This is our property. The line isn't going to change. But he'd just shake his head and walk away. Then he'd be back the next day doing the same thing. His wife Betty barely left the house. She had trouble walking, so she spent basically all day every day watching TV. They had this huge satellite dish in their yard, one of those old C-band dishes that was like 10 feet across. That thing was her entire life. Now here's where I probably should have been the bigger person, but I wasn't. I worked in wireless communications and had access to all kinds of test equipment, radio frequency stuff, signal generators, all that technical gear. One weekend, I set up this device in my garage that would interfere with their satellite signal. I put it on a timer so their TV would cut out exactly 10 minutes before every hour and come back 10 minutes after, which meant they'd miss the beginning and end of every single show they tried to watch. The first day it happened, I heard Harold yelling from inside their house. What the hell is wrong with this thing? Then I'd hear Betty shouting at him to fix it. This went on for weeks. He called out repair technicians like 3 different times. But of course the signal was always perfect when they showed up because my timer wasn't running during their service calls. I'd watch from my window as these guys would test everything, shrug, and leave. Harold would be out there throwing his hands up all frustrated. The best part was he stopped standing in front of our windows because he was too busy trying to fix his TV problem. Finally got some peace and quiet in my own bedroom. After about a month of this, I was outside watering my plants when I saw Harold up on a ladder messing with the satellite dish. He looked exhausted. His shirt was all sweaty and he was talking to himself. I walked over real casual and goes, "Hey Harold, having some trouble with your dish?" He practically climbed down that ladder. "Yeah, this stupid thing keeps cutting out and nobody can figure out why. It's driving Betty crazy and she's driving me crazy." I pretended to think for a second, then said, "You know, I actually work in wireless communications. I know a bit about satellite systems. Want me to take a look?" His whole face lit up. "Really? You'd do that?" I climbed up the ladder and pretended to adjust some connections. Moved the dish like half an inch. Then I started spouting all this technical nonsense about signal interference patterns and atmospheric conditions and transponder frequencies. Stuff that sounded smart but didn't mean anything. Harold's just nodding along like I'm some kind of genius. After a few minutes, I climbed back down and told him it should be fixed now. That night, I turned off my interference device and unplugged it. 3 days later, Harold shows up at my door with a plate of cookies Betty had baked. He's smiling bigger than I'd ever seen. He goes, "I don't know what you did up there, but you fixed it. We had 4 different technicians out here and nobody could solve it. You're a miracle worker." I just smiled and said I was happy to help. From that day forward, Harold was the nicest neighbor you could ask for. He'd wave every morning, helped me carry groceries when he saw me struggling, even offered to mow our lawn when we went on vacation. And the best part, he never mentioned that back parcel again. Never stood in front of our windows, never argued about property lines. That piece of land became ours without another word about it. My husband asked me one time what I said to Harold that changed everything. I just told him I fixed his satellite dish. He didn't need to know the whole story.